Okay, how I would like you to do a simple storyboard for your final project. Now, there's going to be a little more information about the final project next week, but for now, I want you to keep in mind that you will aim for about 25 seconds, which is just under half a minute. And if you think of it in terms of the assignments you've been turning in, you usually do about 4 seconds. Some of you do more than that. And if you think of it as about 5 assignments in terms of length, then you'll be targeting the right amount of time for your final project. Otherwise, just you can time it out, use your stopwatch and feel what 25 seconds is like, and then base your storyboard on that. Now, you're going to have to make a couple of decisions also before you start your storyboard. For instance, what technique or techniques are you going to use? Also, is it going to be a story with a plot, or is it going to be something abstract? Now, I've chosen, since there was a story-driven storyboard shown to you through Joe Ranft, the late great Joe Ranft from Pixar, I'm going to show you how you could plot out a storyboard for an abstraction. Either way, whether you decide to do a story or something abstract, you're going to aim for about 6 to 8 simple drawings to convey how you want your final project to go. Other information that you're going to need for your storyboard that's due next week is going to be like what technique or techniques you're going to use, what is going to happen with those, using those techniques, and if it's story driven, then you want to be able to tell your story. And remember, good stories, or most stories, have a beginning, middle, and end. So you could even think of it in terms of 2 cards for the beginning, 2 for the middle, and 2 for the end. But that's going to be up to you. And of course, if you want to do more than 6 to 8 drawings, that's perfectly acceptable. But if you're doing fewer than 6, that's not enough. So do at least 6 drawings. Now, I'm pretending that my final project is going to be the abstract cutouts. You don't have to do that. You can do any technique that we learned this semester, and story or abstract. It's up to you. This is just an example so that you understand what I'm asking you to turn in next week. So first, I have all these little cutouts in this little drawing, and I have a bunch of colorful pieces in the center with some green triangles making a circle on the outside. In the next drawing, the green arrows or triangles are starting to shoot out and loosening up the circle of color paper. Now here, they're all the way to the corners of the 4 sides of the viewing area that they've shot out. These arrows represent the green triangles shooting out, and then there's colorful paper everywhere. And then in the next drawing, the green triangles are mixing with the other color paper, and they're all starting to mix together and come back into a ball. Once it's in a ball, it goes in and then starts spinning around. And as I'm spinning it, each time I take the picture, I'm going to be taking pieces of paper out until there is just one green triangle spinning around and then stops. And that's my abstract story. So I took 6 drawings to tell this abstract animation, and I drew it out. You can use pencil, pens, color pencils, crayons, whatever you have. And it doesn't have to be in color, but I recommend that you use either color markers or crayons or color pencils or something so that you can understand from your drawing what you're planning. Because let's say I was going to do an objects animation with Legos or something, I would want to kind of simply draw the Legos, and it might be helpful, especially if there's more than one, to have them in color so that you kind of know what's going on in your drawings. Your drawings don't have to be perfect. You do not have to draw well for this. This isn't great drawing by any means. And just, have fun with it and plan out your story. Now, I have these on index cards. See, this is an index card. And these are really great because they're lined on one side, so I could actually write down what I was planning for this drawing. Or you can even write it down along the bottom. Some storyboardists do that. And they're 3 inches by 5 inches, and they're just perfect because then if I decided For instance, if I was telling a regular story and I decided, oh, I want this scene to happen first, you can switch them around and kind of get an overview of what your final project is going to be. Now, once you have your drawings done and you have them laid out in the order that number your drawings, have them out in the order that your storyboard is going to be. And then what you'll do is you're going to take a single picture using your phone or digital camera, and you're going to send that through Canvas for the 5 points, but you're also going to, hopefully, if you want critique, now this isn't required, but it's highly recommended that when I leave the comments open for this particular assignment, you should upload your storyboard with the description for each card and let other students in your class, and as well as myself, comment on it and give you suggestions or give you encouragement or whatever. Or if you have questions like, oh, I need help figuring out how to do this, does anyone have any advice? Then that will be a great opportunity to do that. All right, now, like I said, these are index cards. Maybe you don't have index cards, but maybe you have scratch paper. You can easily use, I ripped these out of a scratch pad, and they're just about the same size. Yeah, they're 3 inches by 5 inches, but sometimes you can have tablets that are scratch pads that are a little smaller, or you can have, remember those like tablets and things from, you know, businesses and hotels and stuff. You can use usually the back side doesn't have any writing on. You can use those. If you don't have any scratch pads and you don't have any index cards, you can have regular paper. You could use lined paper, but I recommend you use solid, you know, just Xerox paper or printing paper or whatever you want to call it. And don't use nice, expensive sketch pad drawing paper. Don't rip it out of your sketchbooks or anything like that. That's not necessary. In fact, if you do have a sketchbook, you could do on a page, you know, really neatly make out your squares, or rectangles rather, for your 6 to 8 drawings and do your storyboard and write what each card is underneath. That would be acceptable, and you could take a picture of that and upload it. That way you don't have to rip out paper. Or if you do have paper like this, you can either, again, draw the rectangles, you know, representing, don't fit more than 8. In fact, I would recommend only doing maybe 6, or turning it this way and just doing 4, and then do another page. Don't do it on the back because you want to be able to move things around unless you're doing it from your sketchbook. But if you use paper like this, you can cut the paper this way, and then you'll have cards that are just about the same size as these. So 3 ways to do that, actually 4 if you use your sketchbook. And like I said, once you're all done with your drawings, and only do 6 to 8 or more, you may do more, but you really need at least 6 cards or drawings. And then a little description for each one, hopefully in color, so try to find those markers or pencils or whatever, or even if you have 2 or 3 different color pens, that would be useful so that you can really see what's going on in your storyboard. And then take a single picture of the whole thing in order and upload that through Canvas or email it to me to get your credit. But then also, if you want advice or if you just want to share your storyboard idea, please upload it to the special window that I'll have linked below this video to get advice or encouragement or whatever. And have a good time figuring out what your final project is going to be.